Betrayal, it's not just a wound, it's a rupture of the soul. Unlike physical pain that fades, betrayal leaves behind scars that time cannot erase. In the world of Stoic thought, where clarity, self-respect, and inner stillness are paramount, there exist forms of betrayal so profound that they must never be dismissed, excused, or forgiven. Not out of spite, not from a thirst for vengeance, but because some acts violate the sacred codes of trust, honor, and integrity, the very pillars upon which meaningful relationships are built. When someone you've allowed into the depths of your inner world, your fears, your hopes, your raw emotions, turns against you, the damage doesn't end with the act itself. It fractures your lens on reality, stains your ability to trust, and, more dangerously, erodes the way you see your own worth. In today's reflection, we will explore 3 of the most devastating betrayals one can experience in any relationship. Betrayals so destructive that they must be faced with unwavering clarity, not blind forgiveness. These aren't trivial arguments or momentary lapses. These are conscious, deliberate violations of your trust, your loyalty, and your dignity. If you seek emotional resilience, if you wish to protect your spirit from the weight of toxic connections, then this lesson is not just important, it is essential. Part 1. Deception. Lies, the poison of every relationship. Lies aren't just false words, they are poison, slow, corrosive, and precise. A lie may seem like nothing at first, a minor twist of the truth, a small omission, a convenient half-story. But deception is never a one-time event. It's a doorway, and once that door is opened, trust begins to rot from the inside out. In Stoic philosophy, truth is not just an ideal, it is a necessity for peace. Without truth, there is no clarity. Without clarity, there is no stability. And without stability, relationships become a theater of illusion, empty gestures, and broken foundations. When someone lies to you, they are not merely concealing a fact. They are doing something far more dangerous. They are manipulating your perception of reality. They are choosing control over honesty, and in doing so they have declared clearly, though silently, that they do not respect you. Think about it. To deceive is to believe that you are more clever than the person you're lying to, that they are undeserving of the truth, that their reality is yours to edit. It is arrogance disguised as protection. And the most insidious part? Those who lie often believe their own illusions. As Seneca once said, a dishonest man spreads falsehoods first to others, then to himself. They lose touch with truth so gradually that eventually even their apologies become distorted performances. But don't be deceived by the performance. A liar doesn't need your understanding, they need your absence. Some people will argue, everyone lies. White lies don't matter. They only did it to spare your feelings. But Stoicism rejects moral compromise. A small lie is still a crack in the mirror of trust, and over time, those cracks multiply until the reflection staring back at you no longer resembles anything real. The truth is simple. There is no love without honesty. There is no respect in manipulation. If someone has to distort the truth to be close to you, they were never close to begin with. And here's the trap many fall into, trying to decode the lie, trying to dig deeper, extract confessions, reconstruct timelines, understand why they lied. But the Stoic path doesn't lead through obsession, it leads through detachment. Epictetus reminds us, it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows. And the one who lies to you believes they already know best. They do not seek growth, they seek advantage. They lie not because they must, but because they can. So what do? You don't negotiate with deception. You don't offer more chances, hoping honesty will bloom in poisoned soil. You walk, quietly, unemotionally, completely, because every time you tolerate a lie, you invite another. Forgiving deceit is not strength, it is permission. It is an open door saying, yes, lie to me again, I'll stay. But you deserve better. You deserve a life built on reality, not illusion. A life where trust is earned, not abused. Where truth may hurt, but never controls you. The Stoic doesn't seek revenge on the liar. He simply ceases to give them a place in his world. That is not bitterness, it is maturity. It is wisdom wrapped in stillness. Because in the end, a liar is not your problem to fix, but your responsibility is clear. Do not let them turn your life into their fiction. Part 2. Broken Trust. Broken trust, the irreversible crack. Trust is not given lightly. It is built slowly, one word, one action, one shared silence at a time. And when it's broken, the sound of its shattering is silent, but it echoes forever. Trust is more than honesty. It's consistency in chaos, reliability in uncertainty, and integrity when no one is watching. When we trust someone, we don't just believe what they say, we give them access to the most delicate parts of who we are, our hopes, our doubts, our vulnerabilities. So when that trust is broken, it's not just betrayal of expectation, it's a betrayal of self. And here's the truth many resist. Some things, once broken, can never be put back the way they were. You may try, you may forgive, you may even fool yourself into believing the relationship is stronger now. But deep down, a quiet voice will always ask, can I really trust them again? Stoicism doesn't romanticize pain. It doesn't suggest you suffer nobly in the name of forgiveness. It teaches acceptance, not fantasy. And the reality is this: broken trust leaves cracks in the soul, and pretending those cracks don't exist is not healing, it is denial. Many cling to the illusion that trust can be restored if the other person just apologizes or proves themselves or gives it time. But as Marcus Aurelius wrote, when someone has done you wrong, do not dwell on what they did, but focus on what you can do in response. And the correct response isn't to fix them, it's to protect yourself, to shift your energy from restoration to preservation. Would you rebuild a home on a collapsed foundation? Would you drink from a well that's already poisoned just because someone promises it's clean now? When someone breaks your trust, especially willfully, repeatedly, or without remorse, they're telling you what you truly mean to them. Not enough. Not enough to be honest. Not enough to stay loyal. Not enough to protect the bond. And that choice, once made, cannot be undone by words. Because trust isn't about what's said, it's about what's felt when no words are spoken. Here lies the danger. If you let them back in, if you force yourself to forgive and forget, the weight doesn't disappear. It lingers. In every conversation, in every glance, in every moment you wonder if the truth is still being hidden. That doubt is a burden, and no one deserves to carry it indefinitely. Seneca said it best: he who spares the guilty punishes the innocent. When you forgive someone who shattered your trust without transformation, you become the one who suffers. You carry their mistake on your shoulders while they walk freely. Stoicism teaches us not to act from bitterness, but from wisdom. And sometimes the wisest act is to walk away, not because you're weak, but because you refuse to be wounded twice by the same hand. Trust, once broken, should never be returned freely. It must be earned, not begged for. And in many cases, the most self-respecting answer you can give is no, not again. Because your peace is not a bargaining chip, your dignity is not up for negotiation, and your heart is not a revolving door for those who fail to protect it. When trust is broken, the Stoic response is simple: learn, let go, lock the door, and move forward. Not in anger, not in vengeance, but in quiet strength that says, I choose truth, I choose peace, I choose me. Part 3. Disloyalty, betrayal of loyalty. Loyalty isn't just a virtue, it's the foundation upon which every enduring relationship is built. Strip away loyalty, and all that remains is performance. people pretending, roles being played, hearts half committed. When someone breaks that loyalty, they are not merely making a mistake, they are sending a clear message. You were never a priority, your trust was expendable. You must learn to walk away from disloyalty without a second thought. Not because you're cold-hearted, but because your peace is sacred, and keeping people close who've proven their capacity to betray you is not compassion, it's self-neglect. Disloyal people often return. They'll offer explanations, excuses. They'll cry, plead, or gaslight you into believing you misunderstood their intentions. But understand this, repeated disloyalty is not a flaw, it is a pattern, and patterns don't change with apologies, they change with distance. There is a dangerous illusion many of us fall into, that history equals loyalty, that just because someone has been in your life for years, they somehow deserve a place in your future. But the past is not a promise, and if they've shown you that your dignity can be traded for their convenience, you owe them nothing. Not a response, not a chance, not even an explanation. Seneca, another great Stoic mind, once wrote, "Associate with people who will make you better. Welcome only those whom you yourself can improve. Let that be your compass." The people in your life should sharpen your mind, guard your absence, and hold your name with respect when you're not in the room. Anything less is betrayal, dressed as familiarity. And here's the harshest truth of all. Forgiving disloyalty can become a form of betraying yourself. Every time you keep someone in your circle who's already demonstrated they do not value your trust, you silently teach yourself that your boundaries are negotiable, that your standards are flexible, that your worth is conditional. But you are not here to accommodate betrayal. You are here to cultivate inner strength, clarity, and purpose. The strongest move is not confrontation, it is removal, quiet, calm, and complete. Let them watch you disappear from the sidelines of your life. They no longer belong in. A Stoic doesn't carry bitterness, but a Stoic doesn't carry traitors either. You don't have to hate them to let them go. You just have to love yourself enough to say, "This is where your access to me ends." Because in the end, peace is more precious than company. And walking away from those who have betrayed you isn't cruelty, it is clarity in action. Disloyalty, deception, broken trust. These are not minor flaws or forgivable lapses in judgment. They are deliberate choices, conscious betrayals, clear reflections of character. As students of Stoic wisdom, we are not taught to hate those who hurt us, but we are taught to see clearly, to remove illusions, to choose peace over pain, and self-respect over attachment. Forgiveness, when given to the wrong person, becomes a form of self-abandonment. When you excuse betrayal, you teach others how little your boundaries mean. But when you walk away calmly, with clarity, you reclaim your power, your dignity, your truth. The world will tell you to be the bigger person, to let it go, to give second chances. But the Stoic path reminds us, being the stronger person doesn't mean staying, it means knowing when to leave. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. Not everyone who apologizes deserves another chance. Some betrayals are final, and that's not cruelty, that's wisdom. So protect your inner peace like sacred ground. Guard your heart like a priceless relic, and never let the same person betray you twice. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to reflect not on who has betrayed you, but on how you'll rise from it, stronger, wiser, untouchable. Subscribe to Beyond Vision Mindset to continue your journey towards Stoic strength, emotional resilience, and the kind of self-mastery no betrayal can shake. And remember, the strongest move isn't revenge, it's indifference. Walk away, never look back. Build a life so rooted in self-worth that betrayal has no place left to land.